Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening. Hey, thank you for joining me for episode 74 of Soapbox Daily. I'm your host, Matt Morgan, and welcome. Thank you for joining in and tuning in today for episode 74. And today we are continuing on with, of course, our Bad Drivers Week, Volume 1. And this is episode 4 of this week. And we are going to be discussing the following. It can wait until you are parked. I know, that's a little bit of a curious and taunting type title, but yes, it can wait until you are parked. That is our topic for today. That's what we are discussing. And hey, how are you doing today? How has your integrity been this week? It is day 4 of the week. Has it been a good integrity week? Are you being the positive change the world needs? Are you setting the example? That's the biggest thing, especially when you're driving out there. There's rules for a reason, folks. Keeps everybody happy, everybody safe. So today on our topic, we're talking about distractions while driving and go over some of the culprits that we see out there. Because it seems people like to multitask, and multitasking could be a good thing. I do agree. But when you're driving, it's bad enough that people can't even do what they're supposed to do. Like everything else aside, people not doing what they're supposed to do. Like for instance, signaling, that signal thing. Yeah, that's a big thing right there. Maybe staying in your own lane, maybe staying between the lines, maybe driving the speed limit. Oh, I can go on. There's a whole list of things that people should be doing when they're driving, but no. Heaven forbid they don't want to do that because they got a lot of things to do. And although they're behind a vehicle at at least 1 ton or 1,000 pounds, that's irrelevant. The fact that they can hurt somebody or kill somebody, that's irrelevant. They have a whole bunch of stuff to do, so they're going to multitask. No. You don't multitask when you're driving. When you're driving, you drive. Get the driving right. Get the driving down pat. When you can prove that, you can do the driving with competence, okay? With competence to a T, to the letter. You can use a signal, blinker when you're supposed to, stay in your own lane, stay at the right speed. When you can do all that, then maybe add a distraction or two. But we're seeing an ongoing amount of distractions in different areas. And number one culprit seems to be with the advancements of the smartphone, and that is texting. And texting is a visual, manual, and cognitive activity, which, look at that, it's kind of a same thing that driving is. So it's taking away from all the abilities you need to do to actually drive. Texting, the rise in mobile usage and texting, because it's a preferred mode of communication, especially with the younger crowd, makes this a leading contributor to the increase in distracted driving incidents. Honestly, the text can wait. You're not that important. The message is not that important. And if you really need to talk to somebody, use the phone for, the way phones were designed and made for. It's called make a phone call. I'm not saying phone calls during driving are a safe thing, but it's a good alternative to rather than texting, right? It is. You hook it up to a Bluetooth, hook it up to your car stereo, little speaker, boom, talk hands-free. You can focus on driving and have a communication, conversation, everything else. Texting, way too much involved in that. And I'm sorry, nobody can text competently when it comes to driving. Don't do it, folks. Don't do it. I mean, I hope that they jack up the penalties and the fines and the jail time. I hope they do, because it's bad. I mean, back in the day, the distractions that we would have before texting was eating, drinking, smoking. It was just a visual and manual type activity, not really cognitive. It was kind of like second nature. And, that was it. And I know for a fact I used to be able to, when I was smoking, I used to have smoke, I used to have coffee, I used to be able to drive, I used to be able to stay in lane, do the speed limit, and use my signal, everything successfully. But I will never drive and text. The rest of it within balance, but even still not a good idea. You can go even simpler than that when it comes to distractions during driving, like daydreaming, stressed, emotional. That's all cognitive. And that's something that we all go through. But we got to try our best. If we're not able to drive, stay off the road. Beyond that, you have your other distractions. People in the car are, as I mentioned, about talking on the phone. There is reaching for things, adjusting the controls, etc. But then it gets into really silly things that people do in the car, which frankly can wait either before you get in the car or after you get out of the car, like grooming, taking in the view, tending to people in the car, pets or whatever, or the kids. I mean, that's stuff that, don't let yourself be distracted. Either buckle them in and strap them in, so they're safe and just focus on the driving. And I mean, the other things when it comes to driving and distractions, I mean, the use of stuff that could impair your judgment, like drugs and alcohol, or even being tired. These are stuff that, frankly, we need to make sure that we are not under the influence of before we get into a vehicle. You got to remember, it's 1,000 pounds at minimum, a ton. That's a vehicle that it's like a weapon. It can wait until you're parked. Any distractions can wait until you're parked. And that's what we're basically saying. Wait until you're parked. And if you're not 100%, don't get in the car. Don't get in the vehicle. Don't drive. That's about it. All right, so that's it for today. Hey, thank you for joining me today. You know, on our continued series of Bad Driver Week, Volume 1. We wanted to cover this out, and you know what? We are second last day before the weekend. So we're almost there. Tomorrow's being Friday. Today's being Thursday. I hope you have a marvelous Thursday moving forward. I hope it goes well. I hope you're having a good integrity week. I hope you're having a good day. I hope you're happy and healthy and all that fun stuff. So thanks for tuning in. I'm your host, Matt Morgan, and I will see you next episode.